Welcome, friends. My name is Silas Ollegario, and I'm the host of Think Onward, a podcast about books, studies, productivity, and lifestyle. Now, after the intro. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here again. It's nice to have an audience. It's nice to have you here listening to this podcast, watching this video on YouTube. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. And I'm so glad about today's episode because I'm not going to lie, was almost at the spur of the moment. So this might be a even shorter episode than usual because... Well, I'm so excited for the big news that I have, and I was supposed to. Actually, I think I'm still gonna do a very specific video about this for my YouTube channel and post it next Monday, maybe, or even the beginning of the year. But the thing is that I said, you know what? Why wouldn't I record a podcast for people who don't follow me on YouTube but listen to this podcast and maybe they will be happy for what happened. But again, if you're here for the first time, my name is Silas. This podcast is very different. I like to think it's a different one because although I like to talk about books, studies, productivity, and lifestyle, as I said in the opening, I like to talk about anything that I enjoy, anything that makes me happy, or anything that I find interesting. And we are here every week. I missed some weeks this 2021, which was the first year of this podcast, and we will still have one more episode to go before 22 hits us. But anyway, most of the time, every Wednesday we were here, and in the middle of this idea, I started recording the video for the podcast. So in case you're interested, you can watch me on YouTube as well. And just type my name, Silas Ollegario with two L's, Ollegario. And yes, the reason I said this podcast was going to be shorter than usual, I believe, is because I have not written anything down. It's not like last week where I talked about the books for 2022. And in case you haven't watched it, in case you haven't listened to this, to the previous episode, which I released last Friday, 2 days later than usual. It's a longer episode, but I talk about all my choices for books for 2022, why I chose them, why I'm going to read those books in that order. So in case you are here for the books, that is a very nice and interesting episode for you to watch and listen. This one is going to be a little bit more about, maybe you already got for the title. I have huge news. I am now officially sponsored. Not just the podcast. Actually, this sponsorship has nothing to do with the podcast. But this sponsorship has something to do with my everyday life. If you know me, from previous videos, or if you know me from previous episodes, maybe you already remember that I am a musician, not by profession, but I am a musician at church. Basically, I play and record stuff at church. I'm 33 years old, and I've been playing the drums since I was 11. So it's been quite some time since I've been playing the drums. And after so many years of studying, so many years, being a volunteer at church, sometimes recording stuff, a drumstick brand started sponsoring me. I knew about this for the past 2 to 3 weeks, but this week was the week all my sticks arrived. And the bag and the stickers and the contract, which I signed already. And I was waiting for this podcast, for something to be released so I can properly put this on Instagram and let people know about this. I am now officially sponsored by ProStickUSA. Is a drumsticks brand, and I'm so happy, so thrilled for so many reasons. First, it's very nice that after so many years, people in a brand actually believe I'm a decent drummer, and they think because of my YouTube channel, which is very small, but has some sort of reach in a very small community of drummers and musicians. But they said and they chose me to be a part of this team, to be part of this this community, which has an amazing drummer as the big name, Cleverson Silva, Brazilian drummer, simply amazing. My dream is to play like 20% of what that guy plays. I don't know him, obviously, but by his videos and by his recordings, and he's so famous in the Christian world, he's famous in the secular world as well. He has recorded albums playing the drums for so many different artists in Brazil. And, well, this guy's amazing. And he's the big name from ProStickUSA. And now, as a very small part of the team, it's me as well. Just the fact that I don't have to buy drumsticks, which is something that it doesn't matter the quality, how high the quality of the sticks are, is something that is gonna go bad eventually, because drums is acoustic instrument, so we destroy the sticks. So and this brand sent me the first degree of sticks, which is called Special Beats. They sent me also pairs of the biggest and the best one, which is Hickory. In case you don't know, in case you're not familiar with this world of drums, Hickory is a kind of wood which only grows in North America, but produces the best quality of drumsticks, the ones that last longer. And ProStickUSA has Hickory drumsticks, and I have some pairs as well. Guys, I'm just so happy, so thrilled. It's even hard to describe this. I'm not a professional drummer. I don't make money from playing the drums. It's not my profession. It's not what I do for a living. It's not how I make money. It's not how I support my family. But it's something that I absolutely love doing. Playing the drums for me, I don't know. That sometimes if you're a musician, maybe you understand what I'm gonna say. Sometimes we have an instrument that it feels like we were born for each other, And the drum, although I play a little bit of guitar, the drums is my instrument. Drums is, when I'm playing the drums, I feel like I'm home. We understand each other. And if you watch my YouTube videos, you know that basically every week I've been posting videos playing the drums at church. They're still pretty homemade videos, just pretty much like every single video I make. But I'm having such a good time just going to church and playing with my friends and praising and worshiping God and doing what I like to do. And now having this brand behind me. And it's very funny because I am now living some things that I've always dreamed of. For example, in my contract says that I cannot use another brand. I've always used different brands, especially one which is still considered the best drumsticks brand in the world. It's also the oldest. I think that the drumsticks, when they were invented, this brand was the first one to produce them. And now ProStickUSA, at least in Brazil, has become the number 4 or number 3 in the country. It's very difficult to go to number 1 or number 2 because of these very big and gigantic brands have been occupying this place for decades. But number 3, it's still possible. So now I'm part of this family. I say family because that's how they like to say. Although I don't know anybody out there yet, except for the one who sent me the contract. I like to believe that I've become part of something that is huge, something that is big, something that is so much greater than myself. And I'm so happy. I'm so glad to finally being sponsored as a musician, as a drummer. And of course, my family knows. My wife was the first one to know, then my family, a couple of my friends. The other drummers from church, they all know what happened. But I thought that now would be a good moment for me to share this info for people who are not familiar with this yet and people who follow this podcast. It's been a very good week this past few days, especially ever since I got my bags and ever since I got I signed the contract, and it's been excellent. It's been great. And well, that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep talking because I don't know what else to say. Just that by next Monday, I'm going to play. I'm gonna post a video on YouTube, and on this video is gonna be me playing the drums using, by the very first time, these drumsticks from ProStickUSA. And this noise was because I'm drinking a cup of tea. And yes, I'm so glad, I'm so happy. And well, that's pretty much it. I know, very short episode. I changed a lot of what I was going to say, and I decided, you know what? The thing that I was going to record today, I'm going to have this on next week's, which is the last episode of the year. So we're going to kind of have a retrospective of how all these 42 episodes of 2021 have been. And well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you so much for supporting this, for for all of you who have been following us for the past 12 months. I pretty much appreciate the fact that you do this. I know it's not very common for people to follow small YouTubers or small podcasters, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're here, and I hope in 2022 we can continue to grow, continue to develop, and I can continue to bring interesting subjects, interesting stuff, so you can enjoy while listening something in English. Because as I've learned, so many people use my podcast as a way of getting familiar with English. People maybe are studying English, and sometimes they have a big difficulty listening to someone who's a native speaker because they find it kind of complicated. But it's easier to listen to someone who is not a native speaker but just speaks English well enough so people can feel like they're growing and they're learning something. So I'm just very glad that's the case for so many of you. And I'm going to continue doing this for 2022, hopefully improving every single week. And, well, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Next week again. And on Saturday, don't forget, next Saturday is going to be 27. So next, 27, December 27th. So December 27th, drum video using ProStickUSA, my new sponsor. Oh my God, I still can't believe it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here, and see you next week.